Good morning, Internet land. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, and of course, my fellow webheads out there. I'd like to welcome you to the Bird Cage, right here nestled in the beautiful mountains of Northeast Tennessee. I'm KCB with Bird One Creations, and we're going to come at you with a little bit of Captain America, the First Adventure this morning. It's an older movie. Not one of Marvel's first, of course, but in chronological order, it is the first, and that's where I'm going. I'm starting from the beginning, working my way all the way up to the end. So, thank you guys for coming out today, spending a little bit of your time with me. I sure do appreciate it. I'm new at this, so hopefully as we go along, we're going to get a little better. And, with the comments, maybe you can educate me more than I know what's going on here. So we shall see, but I do appreciate y'all coming out. So let's get right to it and get to the review of Captain America, the First Avenger.
Lieutenant? What is it? My God. Base, give me a line to the colonel.
3 a.m., sir.
I don't care what time it is. This one's waited long enough.
And as I was just saying, this is not one of Marvel's first movies. Chronologically, in the new MCU, it is the first movie, so that's where we're starting. And of course, the movie begins with skinny little Steven Rogers from Brooklyn trying his very best to sign himself up for the World War II, because the world is in the throes of World War II. Hitler and Johann Schmidt with the MCU being the villain.
And the Führer digs for trinkets in the desert. You have never seen this, have you? It's not for the eyes of ordinary men.
And then, of course, we come to find out not only is it Johann Schmidt, but also a man named Dr. Zola. Johann Schmidt, of course, travels to Norway, where Odin's father apparently hid the Tesseracts, which is what he's after. There's a throwback right here in this little scene to Steven Spielberg and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he says the Fuhrer is looking for trinkets in the sand while I'm gathering the power of the gods, which actually is what he did. Johann Smith right here shows that he is a true killer villain, no doubt. Trying to make a deal with the priest that if he shows him where the Tesseract is hidden under the World Tree, that he'll let his people go. But you know as well as I do, just as soon as he got his hands on it, he destroyed and flattened the entire town. So that's where the movie ends, and then we go to Steve Rogers, of course, in his third try in a different borough, I'm assuming, to try to sign himself up for World War II. Now, in the comments down here, I'd like for somebody or everybody to let me know if it was this day and time, would you do the same thing? Would you try again to get into a war as opposed to what we've seen recently and then some in the Vietnam War of trying to get out of war? Like I said in the comments, if you don't mind, let me know. And by the way, of the comments, if you don't care, if you like what you're seeing so far, punch that like button or smash that like button that Hulk likes to do. It helped me out. And then subscribe and hit the bell notification, because I'm going to start producing as many of these as I possibly can. Like I said, I'm a rookie. I'm new. I'm just starting out. And if you can tell, I'm trying to get better at all this stuff. So, like I said, the like and the subscription will really help this channel out and allow me to bring you more, better content.
Do you want to kill Nazis?
Is this a test?
Yes.
I don't want to kill anyone. I don't like bullies.
Here is where we get introduced to Agent Carter and Tony Stark's father, Howard. They're both working with the secret soldier serum. Of course, they are the founding members of S.H.I.E.L.D. Steve proves to everybody in the military base there that it's brains over bronze. He's actually chosen out of the group that they all conceived together to see who was going to get the super soldier serum, and Steve's the one that got it. Now, in the process of getting it, after he gets it, Hydra tries to sabotage the serum. He actually kills Dr. Abraham. Hydra does, and then Steve, after gets the shot, gets to kind of show off a little bit of what he's got. Chases the guy down, but before he can get any answers out of him, of course, they eat the cyanide and the guy dies, which is normal. And in their catchphrase, "Get off one head to return." So there we are.
Who the hell are you?
The first of many. Cut off one head. 2 more shall take its place.
Hail Hydra.
Now, as you all know, right after here is where the government, in their infinite wisdom, decides instead of using their ultimate warrior, so to speak, to fight the battle, they're going to turn him into a spokesperson to make money. Sound familiar? But anyway, he turns into the Star Spangled Man with a plan. He does this for a very, very long time until actually he goes on the front lines in front of his peers where things don't work out very well, or as well as he thought they would. Also, he finds out that the corps that he wanted to join and sign with, the 107th, with his best friends Bucky Barnes is, of course, MIA, or KIA, which we'll find out later.
Sir, if you're going after Schmidt, I want in.
You're an experiment. You're going to Alamogordo.
The serum worked.
I asked for an army, and all I got was you. You are not enough.
And so this begins the Star Spangled Man with a plan.
You're getting there. The Senator's got a lot of pull up on the hill. You play ball with us, you'll be leading your own platoon in no time.
Now, Steve finds himself, after doing the Star Spangled Man with a plan, selling bonds as much, actually over on the front lines with his peers. Up on stage, they don't want anything to do with him. They think he's a joke. All they want to do is see the girls, and this really, really gets to Steve, not to mention the fact that he just finds out that the 107th, the company he was wanting for, the company that his best friend was in, has been taken. And that Bucky is to his knowledge, KIA. We know he's MIA, but Steve Rogers, Captain American, now thinks that he is KIA. So him and Agent Carter and Howard Stark devise a plan to send him over the behind enemy lines and try to grab these guys and get this group, which he really does, and he does with a bang. Introduce himself. The base or manufacturing plant that they're building their bombs into one of them. He gets a glimpse of a map that shows the rest of them, all save one, the main base, the main hidden base that nobody knows at this point besides Schmidt and Dr. Zola, where it's at. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing and listening enjoyment, the big ending. So after a lot of car chases, a lot of flying, a lot of running, and some driving, some absolutely outstanding driving from the Colonel, they get Steve onto the Valkyrie, where Johann Schmidt, the Tesseracts, and all the nuclear bombs, or the Tesseract bombs, are on the plane, each of them labeled with one large city across the world that he is going to go destroy this world. So it's the big fight with Captain America now and Johann Schmidt, which is actually Red Skull. Red Skull gets knocked over, tries to grab the Tesseracts, and the Tesseracts is like, yo, look, you've done messed up enough. You've give this stone a bad name. You're coming with me. So, poof, he disappears. Steve jumps in the driver's seat of this plane. I gotta put her in the water. And sees no other option than to bury it in the snow. Now, we could make a whole nother video about what he could have done, should have done, or would have done. But it is what it is. So, he gets to talk to Peggy and the last moments of what she thinks is his so-called life. And instead of worrying about numerous things, all he's worried about is stepping on the lady's toes, and the radio reception goes out, which Steve buries that big Valkyrie in the snow. And at the beginning of the movie, that's where you see the frozen shield, which is where he landed it. Now, credit scenes, he's 70 some odd years later, or somewhat up to 70 years later. He's unthawed, and Fury gets him in the middle of Times Square and tells him he's been asleep for 70 years. He's been a capsicle, so to speak, for 70 years. And welcome to the world. So in the comments below, what would you think? What would you think if you actually fell asleep tonight and woke up 70 years later? What would you feel? What would you do? I mean, even if you weren't Steve Rogers, if you were just somebody else, what would you do? Well, guys, that's about it. The movie, for me, is probably one of the better ones that they made. I'm a Captain America fan. I'm also a Captain Marvel fan, which, by the way, Captain Marvel will be the next review and reaction that I'm going to do. But I really liked the movie. It didn't get me started into the MCU. Like I said, I was a late bloomer. The first one I got to see was Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and that was when Endgame came out. So I'm a little behind the 8 ball, especially when it comes to the comic books and a lot of things about the MCU, so I'm still learning. But I decided to start a channel to be able to grow a community, to help me learn, to maybe give you some pointers from my perspective you don't know, and grow together and have a good time. That's what we're here for. Look, guys, I really enjoyed this. I'm glad if you're even here now, if you stuck around to the end, I sure do appreciate it. This channel's new. It's going to be growing. We're going to be doing some events later. We're going to be doing some giveaways. Commentary. If you comment, I'm going to do my best to comment back. I know it's hard to do now. I don't have any, so it's not very hard to do. But, in the future, it may be hard to do, but I'll do my best. But good or bad, throw it at me. Now, look, I do appreciate y'all being here with me today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and y'all have yourself a good night, you hear?